PhD. One day you will write books. One day commercials. One day the impossible, you will laugh at the impossible. You will look at the impossible and go, what was I thinking?
Hello, my spoiler alert friends. Thank you guys for joining me. So today I wanted to talk about John chapter 12, verses 9 through 11. So the title for this, at least in my Bible, it's The Plot to Kill Lazarus. And the whole idea here, the whole reason why they're even trying to do this, right? So here, I'll give you a little bit of like backdrop history, right? So right before this in chapter 11, they talk about it. So Jesus was out doing Jesus things, right? He's doing miracles, whatever. Who knows what he's doing, but Jesus things. And Mary and Martha, who are the sisters of Lazarus, friends, all friends of Jesus, they send word to Jesus like, hey, Lazarus is sick. We need you to come help him out. You know, we know that you have the power to heal. We've been there with you. You heal all kinds of people. We know you can take care of this, no problem. But we need you to get here quick because he's not doing well. And so Jesus gets the message. He's like, hey, I'm not worried about it. And in fact, he's not going to die. This is only going to bring glory to God, right? So he's like, I'll get there when I get there. Don't worry about it. So he continues on doing his thing. Then he eventually moseys his way on back to the village where they're from. And then he goes, then they're like, everybody's weeping, crying. And then they see him and then they go to him and they're like, hey, Lazarus is dead. He didn't make it. And of course, his friends who Mary and Martha are like, yo, like, what took you so long? We sent word for you. If you would have gotten here, there's no way he would have died. You would have been able to heal him. Everything would have been cool. But now he's gone, and it's because you decided not to come when we called you. And he's like he's sad. This is his friend too. He's like, you know, I'm sad that you're hurt, and I'm sure there's another layer of sadness for him where he's like, man, y'all still don't get it. Y'all still don't get what I can do, who I am, right? So so that's going on, right? Then Jesus goes, he raises Lazarus from the dead. My man's been in the tomb dead for 4 days, at least, something like that, right? He's been in the tomb dead, and they're like, yo, bro, don't roll back the stone. It's going to be pretty stinky in there. I think they even say something along those lines, but it's like, hey, it reeks. We don't need that. He's dead in there. We don't, why are you opening this? There's nothing you can do. He's gone. And he's like, roll back the stone. Let me go ahead. He's healed. Comes out. People are like, oh, you know, Jesus is a boss. You know what I mean? They're going wild. And the chief priests, they see this and they're like, oh, man, we got to get rid of this dude. And their whole thing is they're focusing on the small piece, right? Where they're like, if he keeps going on like this, the Romans are going to come through. They're going to enslave us, kill us, take our land, take our nation, all these things. They're like, they don't believe that he is the Son of God like he's saying he is. They're like, first of all, you're not even that. We need you to get rid of you just simply off of that alone. But then also, you're causing problems or perceived problems for us that we don't want to deal with. So we got to get rid of you. And so then it takes you then they're going into Passover and they're like, okay, how are we going to do this? So they're plotting to kill Jesus and then they're plotting to kill Lazarus. And then that's when we find ourselves in chapter 12. And the thing that stuck out to me about it, and it kind of pulls in from chapter 11, but into these couple verses is the similarities between myself, at least I can say. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, but myself and the chief priest. Here they are, so focused on their objective and what they think is right and what they think they should do because they're trying to take everything into their own hands and control it and make sure that everything is good. And they're like, You know, one person dying is better than the whole nation dying and everybody dying, you know, along with this dude who's causing these problems, who we're not even for sure if he is who he says he is, right? So just like them, we're like focused, driving, pushing, constantly going to achieve whatever it is we have, but we miss the miracle that is literally right in front of us. I know for myself, there's so much. I mean, like, I'm in a house right now. I'm out. I'm protected from shelter. I have food. My wife just made a meal. My kids were playing. I was able to go to work, help people, help heal people, come home. There's so much blessing in that. Like, I have my health. I literally go into work where people are like, they are in a hospital. They're stuck where they are. They're dealing with tons of complicated things. And it's like, I get to go home. I get to go home. I get to go home with my family and not also be in pain or suffering from some other thing. And it's just like, oh man, the blessings we have. Shoot, if you're watching this right now, period, if you're watching this right now, you are more fortunate, especially technologically, than a large portion of the world. So it's like, I think it's good for us to sometimes pause and just slow down a little bit and take stock in what we have, man. Like, all the things that God has given us, it's incredible. It is incredible. He's the same God who raised Lazarus from the dead. He's the same God who, had a plan for each and every one of us before we were even put out here. He had a plan. There's a mission that we are on, right? I just think that is so powerful. And I say all of this so that we don't get caught up in the race, the hunt, the pursuit of the things that we're trying to get to, where we forget, we got something beautiful cooking right here. Yeah, it might not be the finished product, but there are things that are going. And again, I'm not saying right now, don't look forward, don't have vision and try and push to achieve greater things in your life and for your family and all that. Not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, take stops on the road. Take, this race that we're running, I guess. I don't know who we're racing against, but there's a race. Someone's chasing us. So just take a moment. Like they say, take a moment to smell the roses. That whole idea of just pause for a second and look around. Enjoy what's there. Don't stop necessarily. Doesn't mean to stop moving forward. Just kind of take a moment to stop and thank God for everything that we have. And there's so many things that, just that happened in chapter 11, that happened in chapter 13, after chapter 12. They're going into Passover. They're about to celebrate what we call Palm Sunday, where, all the people are laying down the palms and their garments and things for the coming King, Jesus. Like, there's so much going on, all in the midst of all of this. But meanwhile, sometimes we can just be like focused on the wrong things, the trivial things, the small things that we think we can control when there's a bigger picture going on around us. So hopefully this message is encouraging to you guys. I'm looking, it's a little bit long, so forgive me. I appreciate you if you've made it to this point, but hopefully it's encouraging, can give you guys something to think about. And if not, thanks for watching anyway. I will be back, I'm sure, tomorrow, but until then, see you next time.
One thing I know is that I'm going up, it's the only way to go.